Hi, and welcome to episode 160 of C3 Crystals, Cauldrons, and Cocktails. And today I am going to be talking about a couple of herbs that I found to be very interesting. But first, I want to come on here and say Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and I hope everything went well with Yule and or Christmas, whatever you celebrate. I hope everyone had a fantastic New Year's Eve, and celebration. We have been struggling on our side with the podcast. Um, it hasn't been something that we have talked about specifically, but something that I do suggest, and we hope that you guys are patient with us as we kind of journey through this new year. And I think we will, for the time being, change our frequency of episodes. So instead of one episode a week, we will be doing maybe one every other week and posting our after darks the same. So you will be, if you are a patron or a Buzzsprout subscriber, you will be getting 4 episodes from us, one every week. But if you are not, you will only be getting 2 from us a month. So um, this one will count, and we will not have one next week, but we will have one the following. This will allow us enough time to create quality podcast episodes for you guys. No rushing, no flimsy, whatever you want to call it, episode topics. We really want to be able to dedicate our time. It's just with the frequency of once a week, we cannot do that. So, I want your feedback on this. We will do it for maybe, let's say a month to 2 months, and give us your feedback to see how the quality changes, to see how we change. Maybe we're going to be a little bit more energized. Maybe we'll be more excited because we hadn't, you know, put out an episode the following week. And so maybe we'll be more excited about the topic, and we'll have more time and more diving deep into what we want to talk about. Um it is just something that we, or I feel like we should do. Um River has been going through a lot, especially with this last year, and I have been through a lot, especially in this last year. And there are goals that we want to attain for the podcast, but we also have our personal goals for our lives. And with this not being our full-time job, we do think we need to steady ourselves. We tend to do too much. River, I'm talking to you. Um, and me too, but we are not superhuman. So we do need to step back, take a breather, and be healthy for ourselves. Especially, I hate the cliche of new year, try new things, because you can always try new things. It doesn't have to just be a new year. Tomorrow's always a new day, even in an hour is a new hour. So, I do think right now it is a good time to probably start something new. Um, and hopefully you guys will stay with us and be patient as we navigate this. We would love for this to be our full-time job. Um, but right now that's just not sustainable. And we really do love this, so we are not going to just call it quits because that's not something we want to do. We are both very passionate about our podcast and our craft, even though me personally, I haven't been able to be as into my craft as I would like. Um, so that's something I'm working on as well. Um, and hopefully you enjoy this new journey and enjoy our new episode topics and enjoy this year. I'm hoping it will make us more paced and, we are, it's going to be a little bit more easy for us and more enjoyable. So we hope you guys understand. And again, we appreciate any feedback that we can get. Um, I'm maybe 1 month or 2 months we will try this. And if you guys are like, no, we really want the episodes once a week, then maybe we can do shorter episodes. Instead of doing our normal around 50 minutes, we can do maybe 20 minutes to 25 minutes an episode. Um, so we'll just play it by ear and we will definitely navigate this new adventure of our podcast. It does make me sad that we won't be able to do an episode once a week for our regular series, but we will be doing it for our After Dark as well. So we'll have our normal one today, and then hopefully we will be able to get out an After Dark this next week, and then a normal one, and then an After Dark, and then a normal one. So thank you for being patient. Now, I know I've talked a lot. So let me tell you about these herbs that I kind of found very interesting. And there's one thing that I love about herbs is that they're very versatile. You can't always eat them, like in cooking. Some of them are very poisonous. And so it kind of piques an interest to me. I'm not sure if we've talked about this one before. Maybe River has, but I don't know. I just wanted to talk about these. I found these very interesting. So the first one I want to talk about is called Hyssop. I'm not going to try to say the scientific name because I'm going to butcher it. So I always do. So this one I wanted to kind of break it up. This one's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode since River's not here with me. But I'm kind of breaking up a little bit differently. So instead of going right into the history and it's just brief, I'm going to talk about the properties and significant first. So, hyssop is deeply associated with purification, protection, and spiritual cleansing. Its strong connections to spiritual practices stem from its mention kind of in spiritual texts or religious texts, including the Bible, where it symbolizes the purification process and forgiveness process. So, this herb is also linked to healing and banishment, making it a very versatile tool in witchcraft. So, you can use it in healing, you can banish, you can purify, protect. I feel like this one is a really good one to work with, but it's hard to come by, I will say. So, a little bit of history. Hyssop has been revered since ancient times. It's in biblical contexts and it was used in purification rituals, particularly in the Passover story, where it was dipped in lamb's blood to mark doorways. Whereas hyssop with ancient Greeks and Romans, they valued it for its medicinal properties, especially for treating respiratory conditions and infections. And in medieval Europe, folk magic, it's burned or sprinkled in homes to ward off evil spirits and diseases. So, for these magical uses in witchcraft, again, it's purification. So, you can make a hyssop tea or infusion and use it to cleanse ritual tools and sprinkle it around your home to remove negativity. Um, you can use it in a ritual bath. You can add it to your bath water and it will cleanse your aura and it could prepare you for spiritual work or your rituals. So it doesn't just have to be in your rituals, it can be used before your rituals. And then it can also be used for protection. You can burn it as an incense or maybe place dried sprigs near your doorway and windows to create a kind of protective barrier against negative energies or anything like that. And then again with the healing, you can use hyssop in spells or potions designated for emotional or physical healing, particularly when releasing guilt or regret. So hyssop looks like it's described as being small. It's a bushy perennial herb with many distinguishing features, like its height. It typically grows about 1 to 2 feet or 30 to 60 centimeters tall. And the leaves are very narrow, a lance shape, and they're dark green with slightly shiny surface. So they have a fragrance, which is slightly bitter. It's a bitter scent. Their flowers are small and tubular that grow in clusters along the upper stems. And so the flowers are usually blue or violet, and they can also be pink or white depending on the variety. And so I think these are so cool because, like, I mean, all these different colors that they can be depending on the variety and like their tubular flowers. It's just so cool how different herbs and the plants that they come from look like. And then the stem is woody, like it's woody. I don't know what kind of joke I'm trying to make, but it's woody. At the base with a softer like top. Like it gets softer as you go up to the top. And so some say that it's very similar to lavender with its kind of upright spikes of flowers, but it's more compact. Like it has a more compact form. Um, and a little bit before I talk about actual rituals and spells and how you can use it, I want to talk about a little bit more on what you need to know before using these types of herbs. So, it's very important to always have a clear intention. Both uh these herbs that I'm talking about have they carry powerful spiritual signatures. I feel like everything on this planet has some sort of energy to it. So you want to be very careful and make sure you set your intentions. Before using them, take time to meditate and clarify your intent, whether for cleansing, protection, spiritual communication, banishing. Make sure your intent is clear. You're going to also want to respect the plant. Always thank the herb for its contribution to your work, acknowledging its energy that it's giving to you and the connection that it has to earth. Prepare your space, cleanse your for your ritual, and make sure that the energy of the herb isn't interfered with. And like there's no lingering negativity. Everything is just ready to go. And then, of course, before you use anything, please research correspondences. So if you want to pair these herbs or hyssop specifically with anything, make sure you kind of compare, like put them with something that will complement them, like the types of crystals that you're going to work with or anything like that. So, for example, hyssop works so well with salt, lavender, and sage for cleansing rituals. So, that's something that you're going to want to do a little bit more like um digger deeping. Like I know we are a podcast and I know that we are people who give you guys information, but where do you think we got this information? We just try to research as much as we can to fully understand what we're going to talk about and how we forget it tomorrow, like we forget it as soon as we say it. But some things stick with us, but that's what's so good about, you know, our podcast is we're giving you information, but it's also giving you a good start to dive deeper into something that piques your interest. If you're like, hey, yeah, I really love doing protection spells, and we have bits and pieces in every episode that talks about how anything can contribute to your protection spells. But that's what I love is because we also research this stuff, you can do it too. Um, so I feel like witchcraft it goes with everything. Witchcraft is basically 70% research. And then you only get to have a little bit of like the actual ritual part because a lot of it goes into preparing yourself to do it. And I can't express that enough. I know people are like, "Ugh, whatever. I want you to give me a spell. I want you to tell me what to use." And I'm not going to because that is not my job. I am trying to give you the tools so that you can create something that will benefit you. I don't know who you are. I don't know what resonates with you. You do. And so I'm hoping that these things that, like this information that I'm giving you, will help you facilitate that into your craft. So, sorry, that was my 2 cents for this episode. So, a little bit more on the specific use of hyssop and safety regards and ethical responsibilities. So, in safety, hyssop is generally safe, but it is generally safe in essential oils. It's very potent and it should be diluted if applied to any skin. And if you are pregnant, a pregnant individual, you should avoid using large amounts of hyssop because it can create what I read and researched, um, it can create contractions, like preset contractions, which you don't want that. So I would highly suggest against using anything with hyssop while you or anybody near you is pregnant. Now, ethical sourcing is very important as well. So, hyssop is widely cultivated. So, ensure your supply comes from a sustainable source, especially if you're buying dried or pre-packaged. And that's always something very I don't want to say easy because sometimes these companies and places that you get these things don't have a really open, you know, they're not very, what is the word that I'm looking for? Um, I guess open's fine. Open about where they get their supply. So if you just do a little bit quick research on the company or maybe just start out with the research of where can I get hyssop sustainably sourced, and maybe it'll pop up with some things. And then the best practices are when hyssop works, it works best when it's fresh and it as its kind of aromatic oils are the most potent, which I know I said dilute, but that's essential oil and aromatic oils kind of different. And if dried, store it in an airtight container in a dark cool place. So now let me tell you a little bit of like rituals that you can do with hyssop itself. You can do, again, cleansing and purification rituals. So for this, it's not much. And you probably, besides the hyssop, if you don't already have it, you probably already have these things in your house or in your home. So, to cleanse your space, body, or tools of negativity and prepare for spiritual work, you will need dried hyssop, a white candle, and a bowl of warm water. See? Easy. You're going to want to light your white candle to represent purity. You're going to add a handful of dried hyssop to the bowl of warm water, stirring clockwise while focusing on your intent to cleanse. Dip your fingers into the water and sprinkle it around your space, all over your tools, or um, on yourself if you're trying to cleanse yourself, while saying, and you don't have to say this specifically, but here's just an example. While saying, with this hyssop I cleanse and renew, banishing darkness, inviting the true. And I know River would love that because it rhymes. But it doesn't have to rhyme. Just maybe even you don't have to say it out loud. You can think it in your head, or you can just say, this hyssop is cleansing me, and that would be it. And then allow the water to dry naturally, and this will signify the sealing of the cleansing energy. For a banishing spell, because I didn't really dig too deep into banishing, just know that it can be used for this purpose. You or and I guess the purpose of this banishing spell is to remove lingering negative energies or sever ties with harmful influences. So you're going to need a black candle dried hyssop, and a piece of paper and pen. Now, if you guys already have a black candle, then this would work great for already having things around your house. I do have black candles, actually. I was gonna say I don't have one. Yeah, I do. I do actually. I have everything for this except for the hyssop. Um, so with these steps, you're going to write down the negative influence you wish to banish on your piece of paper, sprinkle a pinch of hyssop over the paper, folding it 3 times toward you. Then you're going to light the black candle and burn the folded paper in its flame. And you're going to visualize the negativity leaving your life. And I guess this is kind of nice for like, since it is a new year, new year, you want to start new things. Maybe this is a good way to banish all that negative energy as you come into this new year. And then you're going to scatter the ashes in the wind or bury them away from your home. So I don't know. I I'm just trying to think like where would I go and bury it? I like the idea of letting it go in the wind. But what if it's not windy? Um, I don't know. I have a hard time because I mean, if you go and bury it somewhere that's not near your home, then it's not your area or space to invade and to put that there. So I feel like I would flush it down the toilet. I know that's not probably the best, but that it like water is pure, whether it's the toilet water or not. It is water is pure, so I feel like that could also cleanse, but don't take your word for me. Like, that's all that I have for hyssop. So I'm really excited about this second one. Mostly because I'm a big Harry Potter fan, and I have been reading into some Harry Potter like side stories, and this is called Dittany of Crete. And Dittany is a herb that is used a lot in the story that I've been reading. And so I found it really cool, and I wanted to do an episode on this one. So Dittany of Crete is rare. It is a rare and mystical herb often used in rituals involving spirit communication, astral protection, and manifesting desires. Now, it's not used for that in the book, but I thought it was so cool. So, this herb is highly valued for its ability to act as a bridge between the physical and spiritual realms. Its aromatic qualities and rarity make it a prized addition to any witch's herbal collection or practitioner, whatever you want to call yourself. And so, a little bit of history. Um, it is native to the island of Crete. Dittany has been regarded as a sacred herb since ancient Greek times. It was believed to have been a favorite of the goddess Aramis. I need river. Artemis, who used it for healing wounded hunters and warriors. And in medieval times, dittany was used in alchemy practices and was considered an essential herb for summoning spirits and enhancing magical workings. And so, due to its rarity, it's also a symbol of love and luxury. So, magical uses in witchcraft are again spirit communication, and you can burn dittany as an incense during seances or scrying sessions to open channels for communication with the spirit world. You can use it for astral projection by combining dittany with other herbs like mugwort to create a dream pillow or smoke blend that enhances your astral travel and vivid dreams. For manifestation, you can use it in spell jars or sachets to boost the potency of your intentions and attract what you desire. For love and attraction, you can add dittany to your love spells or rituals to strengthen emotional bonds and attract a soulmate. There are a few additional tips where both of these, hyssop and dittany, can be combined with other herbs to amplify their magical practices. So you can use either or and combine them with other herbs and other tools and amplify magical properties. Let me see. So with Dittany, um, the kind of the same goes for like what I said for Hyssop with um how you're going to use them, like with your intent and um how you are going to want to respect it and ethical sourcing, since it is rare and it is basically native to Crete. It's important that you understand where it's coming from, but it's also you use it sparingly because it's considered sacred. So you're also going to when you burn it, you're going to have want to have a heat safe dish or cauldron. You're going to want to have burning considerations. Like you don't want to set fire to it where you're going to, we've talked about this. You're going to understand what type of rituals you need to use it in because it is one of the strongest herbs for spirit communication and astral projection. So you're going to start with small amounts and try to avoid overwhelming the energy that you're trying to summon. So I think that it's very important to think about timing when you use these. And I'm talking about hyssop too right now, in these. And specifically for Dittany, I don't know how to stress it enough that it's so rare and so powerful. So its appearance is also very rare and unique and striking. It has a height of 6 to 12 inches, which is 15 to 30 centimeters tall, making it more of a trailing and mound forming plant. Its leaves are soft, round, and covered in fine white hairs, giving them a silvery or grayish green appearance. And they feel very velvety to the touch. And then you have the flowers. They're very delicate and a pale pink to purple, forming small clusters. The flowers are kind of bell-shaped and emerge from within the decorative brackets that are lightly hairy. Like it's it's an interesting looking plant. And then the stem is thin and slightly woody at the base with a trailing and kind of cascading growth habit to it. It's so cool. So, I don't know. I wanted to talk a little bit about its kind of element and planet and all of that. So, Dittany is kind of it's related to the element air, but its planet is Venus, which I think is so interesting because you can use this in love spells and Venus is, you know, oh, so River would also be able to go into more topic about that in more detail, but its day is also associated with Friday, which is also said to be ideal for love, attraction, and spirit work. So if you're wanting to do spirit work, do it on Friday. I don't remember if we've ever done days of the week and magic correspondences with the days, but I think that should be a really good topic for us. Um, so you could also use, I mean, I guess hyssop too in this case, ritual hygiene and safety. You're going to want to avoid the overuse and take fire safety into consideration, and then energy grounding as well. Dittany especially can induce heightened states of awareness. So after rituals, you're going to want to ground yourself by eating, touching the earth, or meditating to bring your energy back down to normal. You can use Dittany to anoint in anointing oils for your tools, for divination and scrying, and you can blend it into your herbal sachets and or dream pillows, like how I said with hyssop, to enhance psychic visions in this case. And I think that it's really important to respect, I know I said this a couple times before, respect the herbs and thank them, and especially Dittany with how powerful it is seeming. I I don't know, I feel kind of intimidated to even think about using this herb in um my practice. So that's the last herb that I have. So I want to say thank you guys for staying with us. We are in a new year, and I'm happy you guys are still here with us. And I'm happy you guys are being patient with us as we do navigate these new times in our lives. You guys have been with us through ups and downs, and it has been a lot of downs this past year. Hopefully, it's more ups this coming year, especially for River. We've both been through a lot, and we just want to say thank you and Happy New Year to everyone. We hope everyone had a great holidays. And I guess until then, stay witchy.